Oi, hello, hello. Good evening. I am here finally talking about the retreat in the Amazonian jungle, in the Peruvian Amazon, and where I was with over 10, it was 15 participants. Of course, I am Dr. Velazquez, and I am doing research with psychedelic medicinal plants and also with master plants and master trees. And today I am going to be talking about what happened in the Amazon when I was there with, it was about 15, but then I was able to interview 10 individuals. So let me log in here also on Instagram. Amazonian master plant. Why do they call it master plant? Because these plants are teachers. They teach, so they behave like masters, like professors. And this is a way of healing and acquiring knowledge that has existed for thousands of years, and shamans are the ones who know how to administer these medicines, these natural medicines. They are the ones who know, well, traditionally, how it's done, how is the process done. And let's see, here we go. So I was there with Alonso del Rio, one of the most reputable. Hello, welcome, welcome. I am on Instagram. I am on YouTube. So psychedelic, non-psychedelics actually today. And because I'm talking about Amazonian master plants that are traditionally considered non-psychedelics, but are important healing and plants that offer wisdom and plants that guide us towards healing, especially when healthcare systems are such a failure sometimes. Then I have a piece of wood here in front of me. It's actually a piece of a tree that got dried and that was falling off, and I made a piece of art. So I am sitting here behind this tree to represent that today we are talking about the wisdom of 4 trees: Bobinsana tree, Castaño tree, Ubos, and Shushuwasi. So I am Dr. Velazquez. I'm a neurologist that is going around the world studying ancestral healing traditions, and I am observing the benefits. So I go to ceremonies, I go to retreats, I go to the Amazon, and I drink all these medicines. I feel and I observe what happens within myself, and I observe what happens in others, and then I interview people, and I am collecting evidence and presenting it to you here. I'm presenting it through research articles. I'm presenting it in the Functional Neurological Disorder Society meeting, for example, that is taking place in June. I'm presenting. Why? Because we humans, we need to have options. Physical therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, and a few other, modern modalities are not, because just look at the prognosis of functional illnesses and functional neurological disorders. It's still very low, the cure rate. And the prognosis is still warded in most patients. So let me tell you what happened with these 4 plants. These plants are non-psychedelics. And I was saying just a moment ago in my Brazilian account that these plants, they expand your psyche. You gain awareness. They work in cognitive, emotional, somatic, or physical body processes, and they also work in our socio-spiritual connections. So even that they are not psychedelic because they don't expand rapidly and profoundly your conscious awareness to such a degree that you fall into a different dimension of your psyche, They work at a milder, more subtle level, but they also, I do believe, they also expand your psyche. Because look at all the benefits. So there were about 15 of us in the Amazon, in the Peruvian Amazon. We were drinking these plants twice a day. We were fasting, nothing else, no chemical products in our skin, in our hair, in our mouth. We were not drinking or eating anything else besides tea, water, and the plants. We fasted and drank the tea, the brew derived from the plants twice a day for 5 days. We also did 2 ayahuasca ceremonies. There was a tobacco purge and cleansing before we started to take the plants to cleanse our bodies and to be more, like cleaner, to drink, to absorb the medicine. Let's suppose that you're going to take a medicine that is very powerful, but also subtle, and you want to, how often do you go to the Amazon? So you want to make the most out of the experience. So you had your mouth kind of, you had a filter in your mouth. Your mouth was kind of dry, or it was kind of dirty, and it was filled with other kind of foods and chemicals, and all this is going to mix up. So you remove this so you can drink the medicine, but not only from your mouth, you remove it right from your whole bile system, hepatobiliary tract, from your whole upper intestine, from your stomach. You remove, you cleanse all these thick layers of fat and sugar and all the bacteria derived from meat or whatever it's in your diet, and then you're pure to receive and make the most, absorb to its maximum, to your maximal potential, this medicine. So in my Brazilian channel, I just described individual number 3, who was a 33-year-old woman from Poland. She's a Polish woman who derived she derived the least amount of benefits because she described only 11 processes, but I was saying that she was rather reserved and maybe I didn't dedicate that much time to the interview. So here in the English, in the American English-speaking website and channel, I am going to describe what happened to the individual who derived 47 effect in 47 processes. So I'm going to have to talk quickly because I want to dedicate to this conversation only 15 to 20 minutes max. So there was actually one individual that derived 47 effects, influences. And when I talk about 47 processes in 7 days, these are processes involved in functional illnesses and functional health, and you will see it in a minute. When I'm interviewing people, just because experiences are all over the place and are very personalized, I ask them, okay, cognitively, in your cognitive mind, what did you notice? Thoughts, planning, execution, perception, calculation, realizations, everything that is cognitive, but also everything related to emotions, because that's the limbic system, that's a different network, and also everything related to the soma, or physical body, and everything that they remember I want to describe related to the socio-spiritual network. So individual number 1, a 33-year-old English from England woman, she described all the following benefits, and this is and she drank what plant she drank? She drank castaño. So when we got there to the Peruvian Amazon, the master, the teacher, Alonso del Rio, she said, well, castaño, it's a tree that is known for working on abundance, the concept of abundance. So she drank this plant, and then I'm like, okay, in your mind, like in your cognitive mind, what did you notice? What happened there? And also consider there was castaño, 5 days, there were 2 ayahuasca ceremonies, there was tobacco purge, and then everyone was fasting and immersed in the Amazonian jungle, immersed in nature. So she's like, wow, I realized control, like how much my mind wanted to control, was trying to control things, and the detrimental effects of that. I deeply studied, controlled, and had realizations about that. And this is very important because we know that functional illnesses happen or is maintained a lot of the time because of two things. One is lack of voluntary control over certain functions, and the other one is excessive control over certain other functions. So it is working in the control centers, and she described that. She said, I also noticed my mental pattern of resistance. And resistance is also present in functional illnesses. How does resistance manifest, for example? Resistance to change, many times to change your functioning. To get out of an unhealthy way of functioning, you need to change your programming, mind, body connections, and programming to a new way of functioning. And there may be resistance that gets on the way. So she's like, I noticed this, I was able to work on this. Cognitive process number 3. I realized how my mind was questioning everything, how many doubts I had, and how much I was holding myself back from doing, from realizing, from accomplishing, from achieving the things that I could really do. So I was falling into this mental trap of questioning and doubt. And how often doesn't this happen? Even around functional illnesses treatment, around our capacity to heal, around trusting in a therapeutic modality or in a set of exercises. Of course, if we have doubts and we have questioning, then we never focus fully on the task and we're not going to be able to perfect it. If we hold back our true self and we don't express our authenticity, how are we going to be able to function well within ourselves if we're holding ourselves back, right? It's kind of a metaphor that makes total sense. She is like, I was able to notice and study my decision-making capacity, like how I have this high, this is one of the highest intellectual cognitive functions of the human brain, the decision-making capacity, and how important is to have a good decision-making so you don't fall into the trap of charlatans and people who are offering treatments that are not helpful, that are not scientifically proven, and they just want your money or people's money. How often we fall into relationships that are damaging, how often we succumb to the control of our circle of relationships, how often are we confused about the right decision. So working on influencing the decision-making processes of the cognitive mind, to me, remember, none of these patients, I didn't interview them as functional illnesses patients, and I didn't even ask them about their past medical histories. I just said, like, hey, I just want to know what you noticed. Because this is a center, these are people that I don't know, like, I'm being like very cautious. So, but imagine this process being worked on a patient with functional illnesses. It could be helpful. So she also worked on, realized, had influence in trust, certainty, and confidence. And this goes hand in hand with the other side of the coin, questioning everything and doubts. And how often, I mean, this is one of the foundational concepts of functional illnesses. We know that functional illnesses happen because of a split in truths, in realities, in existential questions and processes. So here you have questions, doubts, and you have confidence and trust. So she is uniting these contradictory aspects of the is reconciling. She's observing these two opposites. This is key. This is key to heal functional illnesses. The observation of the split, the opposites, the contradiction, and the capacity to reconcile it through the inner wisdom that these contradictions are part of human existence. When you have insights, when the wisdom comes from the inside out, this becomes an unquestionable truth. So the healing really happens from within. I don't know if this person has functional illnesses or not, but imagine, I suspect this could be helpful for someone with a functional disorder. And this is only out of 47 processes that this person described. This is only process number 5, cognitive. Let's jump. There are other 7 cognitive processes that she worked on during this diet, but let's jump to 2 or 3 emotional processes. So I asked her, well, in the emotions, what did you notice? And she said, I noticed fears. I became aware of the fears that were laying within myself. I noticed anxiety. So anxiety is number 2. I was able to reframe emotions, put it in a different context, give them meaning, utilize them for self-growth to propel your behavior in the right way. Emotional release. How important this is for functional illnesses when we know that one of the pathophysiological mechanisms is that the energy that permeates emotions and physical sensations, because we know that emotions show through the body. When you're in love, you get butterflies in the stomach. When you're scared, your legs may feel wobbly. When you're anxious, you may tremble. So emotions have a physical manifestation, and this energy that fluctuates and navigates and floats between the limbic network and the physical body, sometimes this energy gets stuck. And it's a key healing process to be able to release this emotional, physical energy, and she did it. This is only process number 5, emotion. There are other 7 processes that I will not have time to describe, but this is on my website. And this was also in the newsletter, and it's also here in the highlights. Sign up for the newsletter, go to my website, check out the highlights here, the scientific highlights. Anyways, let's go to the physical body, the soma. And I'm like, okay, wow, like all these things you're realizing and these emotional things are happening over these, past few days. And how about the body? Like, what were you noticing in your body over these past few days? And she said, I noticed how the modern pattern of rushing around was causing me to be disembodied. How stress, how rushing is disembodying me, is removing my body, my felt sense of a human being from my experience. This is a defense mechanism that happens when we're rushing and stressed out. There is a disembodiment, and she realized how this was happening. So she said, I started observing my sensations with more curiosity. And I started observing my internal processes, becoming aware of my biology and my physiology. This is key to functional health and healing. Number 3, I became connected. I regained connection to my own sexuality, with my sexual organs, with my sexual energy. And how many people who develop functional illness haven't had an uncomfortable experience around sexuality, sexual organs, and sexual energy? It's one of the commonest reasons for challenges, traumatic and shame, you name it. So she reconnected with all these important parts of our humanity. And she is like, I practice embodiment. I know now how it feels. I know how it's done. I know what embodiment means. if you consider that functional illnesses are a mind-body split, and you want to reunite mind and body, this gotta be positive for functional illnesses and functional disorders. So I am talking to Alonso del Rio, the master shaman, the teacher in these modalities, one of the most reputable shamans in Peru, an author, a man that is contributing to the preservation of wisdom through the creation of films. He does the filming, he does editing, he has a few films out, he's a writer, he contributes to research, and obviously he does ceremonies and he does these shamanic plant diets, he does retreats. So I am in conversations with him to do a shamanic plant diet for functional illnesses and functional neurological disorders. Of course, he has his fees. We need to see how much he charges. People need to go to Peru also over there. So there are logistics, there are expenses and all this. And I will be there observing and accompanying people and reporting the results. I will be drinking the medicine too. So we're planning something for next year. Just to close up, there are, I don't know, like 10 more. No, I think 9 more physical processes that she felt that I won't have time to mention. Let's just mention to finish 2 or 3 socio-spiritual process. So I said, okay, well, how about spirituality? How about the larger web of relationships? Did you notice? Did you realize anything there? And she said, yes, I realized how my current interpersonal dynamics, the way I navigate my interpersonal relationships, how it's stemming from childhood. The same patterns, the same programming, the same behaviors that I used to adopt when I was a child. I'm still adopting them now at the age of 33. And this is unhealthy. You're not going to be able to navigate your mega, let's go. No one would be able to navigate interpersonal relationships with health and with functioning, positive function, if you're behaving the same manner that you were behaving as a child. So I connected with the creative source, with the universe, with nature, with the natural elements, with the ancestors. And this is very important because the journey to heal functional illnesses and functional neurological disorders, or functional disorders in general, is a solo journey. It's lonely a lot of the time because there are so many things happening within us that we're trying to understand and other people don't get it, and we're trying to unravel all these mysteries that lie within the human body and its energy. So when in this journey you feel, in the journey of life, which is a journey filled with challenges, when in these journeys you feel connected to the creative source, connected to the universe, when you feel that nature has your back, that the natural elements are accompanying you and supporting you, and that your ancestors are watching you and taking care of you too, this becomes a very empowered and powerful journey. It's no longer a solo journey. So these are some of the benefits. I am around. Let me know if you have any questions, any comments. Feel free to put it over here too. Remember always that I am trying to help as much as I can. We can always develop scholarship opportunities, fundraising. If you need help getting to one of these opportunities in Peru, you know, this is out of my control, because these are shamans, these are guides. I have no control over how much they charge, and obviously these are international modalities, but I can help you if you have an idea on how to fundraise money, if you have any questions, if you would like to connect. I always offer 30-minute meet and greet conversations. I would love to learn about you, to hear about you, about your story, and support you the best I can. And we can come up with ideas to help you get where you want and deserve and need in this journey of life and living with health and healthy functioning. Grateful for you. I am grateful for you too, Megan Meyer. Who else? Diana, everyone. We are connected. Okay, I'll see you again soon. And sign up for the newsletter. Okay, so you